you guys are looking for a place to get some reliable Ultimate Team coins, be sure to check the link in the description below to cointraders.co and use code LEGACY for 5% off of your purchase. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we got some more NHL 19. We're going to be doing a sim of the second round of the NHL playoffs. We got all the matchups lined up. We're going to see who wins these matchups. We're going to continue on until we get to a Stanley Cup winner, of course. But I have to say one thing before we get into this. What a playoffs first round it was. I mean, we went into the playoffs this year. Everybody is kind of like, my team's here, not a big deal. But the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're probably going to walk away and win the Stanley Cup. It seemed like a very, some would say, predictable Stanley Cup playoffs bracket. People are feeling pretty confident about a lot of the teams winning. Well, it turns out you couldn't have been more wrong. The teams that were the underdogs went out there and they loved every single bit of us downplaying them, because the four best teams in the league, the four division winners that is, all went out and lost in the first round. It is absolutely crazy to see something like that happen. Good for hockey though, right? Makes it exciting to watch. But let's go ahead and start this bad boy up now on NHL 19 and see what we can make happen. We have Colorado and San Jose. Oh, that is a fancy bracket. Has that always been there like that? We're gonna just sim through these games. It's gonna be San Jose beating the Colorado Avalanche in game number 1. Then we have Dallas and St. Louis, where Dallas goes out there and wins game number 1. Boston and Columbus, gonna be an exciting series to watch. One team just taking out the Leafs, the other team taking out the Lightning. Two big victories for both teams. We'll see who gets the early advantage. It will be the Boston Bruins. Then we have Islanders. Then we have Carolina. What a story for these Carolina Hurricanes, coming back from being down 2-0 in the series, but they're going to go down once again, this time to the Islanders. And then we see the series split over there in Colorado. Meanwhile, Dallas jumps to a 2-0 series lead against the St. Louis Blues. We go back to Boston, and Boston's going to take a 2-0 series lead against Columbus. Can Carolina split the series with the Islanders? They cannot. The Islanders are going to take a 2-0 series lead. We go back to Colorado now for the first home game for Colorado. This is where they started to turn things around in the first round. They split those home games in the first round. They did it again in the second round. They go home and win their games. That's how they go out there and win series. That's what you got to do. You got Dallas. They are up 2-0 on St. Louis right now. Can St. Louis bounce back? They can. They're going to get one game back. Can Columbus bounce back against Boston? They can't. Columbus is one game away from getting swept in the second round. Same with the Carolina Hurricanes. Here we go for game number 4 in Colorado. Can they jump to a 3-1 series lead? They cannot. San Jose is going to tie it back up. San Jose is another one of them teams playing with a mean streak right now, coming back that huge victory against the Vegas Golden Knights in round number 1. We'll see what they can do in round 2. The Blue Jackets are on the cusp of sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then what I feared most, all that time off until the second round. Could it affect them? Right now, they are one game away from being bounced in round number 2. They are going to pick up the game 4 victory, though. The Islanders, same story as the Blue Jackets. All that time off, but it doesn't seem to be affecting them. They are one game away from sweeping the Hurricanes. They cannot quite pull it off. We go back into San Jose, where San Jose is going to jump out to a 3-2 series lead. Dallas and St. Louis tied 2 apiece. St. Louis is coming back in the series. They was down in it. St. Louis is coming back up 3-2, going back in St. Louis, right? Game 6, I think, is. The Blue Jackets, same story. 3-2 over there in Columbus for game number 6. We have Carolina, we have New York, we have Carolina bouncing back as well. A bunch of 3-2 series right now. Had the chance for a couple sweeps, didn't quite happen. San Jose has the chance to close the door on the Avalanche right now, though. They cannot. They're going to go to a game 7. Same story over in St. Louis. Can they slam the door on those Dallas Stars? They can. St. Louis is going to be our first team to advance to the third round. Can Boston follow them, though? Columbus needs this game or they're done. Boston's going to close the door. Boston in 6 to the conference finals. Will they be facing the New York Islanders or the Carolina Hurricanes? Because that game's going to a game 7. Much like Colorado and San Jose is. Who's coming out on top? It's going to be the Sharks. Clutch game 7s for them San Jose Sharks. Carolina, New York, once again, game 7 in New York. Carolina, another team, played a big clutch game 7. Can they do it again? They can. Conference finals is going to be Boston versus Carolina. It's going to be the Sharks versus the Blues. A couple solid matchups. Got a pretty good chance of seeing a team that hasn't been into the finals in a very long time going out there and making it to the finals. And in the St. Louis Blues, who haven't ever won a Stanley Cup, they're going to go out there and try to do their best to make that happen. Both teams up 2-0 right now in their series. Is the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues. The Blues are going to jump out to a 3-0 series lead, going for the big sweep. Carolina's going to pick up a game against Boston. Can St. Louis complete the sweep? They're doing it at home. Tough place to play, and they will indeed pick up the 4-game sweep. Boston, Carolina. Carolina trying to even this series up at 2 apiece. They will. We're going to go to a game number 5. Game 5 is going to go to the Carolina Hurricanes as well. This Carolina team will not back down. They have a chance to close the door on the Boston Bruins at home. They couldn't quite do it. Here we go. Game 7. Winner goes to the Stanley Cup Finals. We have Bruins. We have Hurricanes. It's going to be the Boston Bruins. They let the Hurricanes back in it, but it wasn't quite enough. We have Bruins. We have Blues in the finals. Blues jump out to a 1-0 series lead. They jump out to a 2-0 series lead. Game 3. Boston's got to pick up a W, and they do. A big W, to say the least. Game number 4 is going to the St. Louis Blues. The Blues are up 3-1. They have a chance right now to go out there, close the door on the Boston Bruins, and pick up their first Stanley Cup in their franchise's history. Right now, though, it's Boston up 2-1. DeBrusk, Marchand, big goals. Jaden Swartz in there as well. Period number 2 is complete, and it's Sundqvist with the goal. We're going to go into period 3, all tied up at 2 apiece. Who's going to get the next goal? Can they close the door? St. Louis on the power play, getting some quality shots, but nothing more than that. The Blues miss out on a golden opportunity on power play, but they get a second chance. They put the puck in the back of the net. It's Braden Shen. They have 10 minutes left in this game, and the St. Louis Blues are going to be our next Stanley Cup champions, the first time in franchise history. Good for the Blues, but the Boston Bruins are coming back. 8 minutes left. It's DeBrusk again. They can't stop him right now. We'll see if them St. Louis Blues, though, they can answer. And they do answer. Big goal by Edmondson. We have 3 minutes left. 2 minutes left. The Bruins have to go. They have to go now. Empty net. Nothing happened. And it's going to be the St. Louis Blues winning the Stanley Cup this year, as according to EA and the teams remaining in the playoffs. Who you guys got? I could live with the Blues winning the Cup just because they haven't ever done it before. I think it'd be nice to see a new team do it. 36 shots to 33. Of course, I'd like to see the Blue Jackets do it, but we're going Blue Jackets in 4. So, Bruins in 4, so we can't have that happen. Otherwise, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.